Microphone? Oh, fine, be that way. Okay, there we go. Good morning. Welcome to the Eureka Center for Spiritual Living. We have commotion. What was that?
Everybody talked at one time.
Yeah. Alrighty, welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living and Happy New Year. So far, 2023 has been perfect. I expect it to remain that way for the next 364 and a half days. So, alrighty, let's see here what we've got going. We've got a slide coming up where there will probably be some new stuff showing up on screen. By the way, if you did not get a special piece of spy paper, please make sure to grab one. I tried to give it out to everybody before I came up here, but they're in a little blue pad. Take one piece of spy paper, and if you need a pen, there are pens up there from some auto supply place. Okay, welcome home. We are glad you're here. Let's see here. There is supposedly a slide that will say what we will all say. This is our new theme, incidentally. The theme for this year, I don't think it's, the theme for this year is walking the talk. But this, there we go. But this has remained the same, so we will all say the top part together, and then we will turn to somebody else and say the bottom part. So together we say, we are a welcoming community where the vibration of love lifts us, the wisdom of the ages inspires us, and the science of mind teaching empowers us. Turn to somebody else and say, Happy New Year. My wife and I have a tradition, maybe some of you do also, that at the very first part of the year we pick a word for the year. So I'm going to throw out some words for you. You don't have to pick a word for the year, but some of them that we have used over the last several years have been peace, gratitude, joy, prosperity, acceptance, health, spirituality, trust, love, or abundance. Whichever word you choose, whether you do it intentionally or not, I wish that for you. Our schedule for this first week of this new year is going on the screen. Here is the schedule. The schedule is very freeform right now. Thank you, Marvin. So you can see that on screen. More specifically, however, excuse me, I'm apparently going through puberty and my voice cracked. More specifically, we will be having a sacred healing service led by our very own future minister and current practitioner, Karen Blakely. And Karen, did you want to come up, take the platform, and tell everybody what this is about? Yes, you do.
We need the next slide. Yeah, there it is. All right, so I'm going to be doing this the first Wednesday of every month. I'm so excited to bring this to our center here. The Sacred Healing Service is the work of Martha Sutton and Lloyd Strom, and it is just the most amazing way. If there is something that you have not fully manifested in your life, or something that you'd like more of, and you're like, what is blocking me from bringing that in? This can help. This is like one of the greatest tools in the toolkit, as far as my humble opinion, of helping us to move forward on our spiritual path and getting rid of those things that may be blocking that clear manifestation from coming through. So I hope you join me. You will need a packet to be able to participate. So there's some over here on the table, or you can email me. My email is up there, I think. Or there's me up there. Oh, maybe not. It is KJ. Oh, is it up there? No. It's kjbaz7@gmail.com. That's also in the newsletter that went out. You can email me. I can send it to you if you prefer to print it at home, but you will need a packet, and I hope to see you there on Zoom.
Speaking of fun activities, Angelica will be leading a session on vision boards. Did you wish to say more about that? No, not at all. So you will not...
We've been doing it for 8 years, so people know. And the slide, we need the slide back. There you go.
There we go. Create a 2022 vision board.
22?
Well,
I used last year's slide.
yeah, we kind of gathered. Yeah.
I changed the date, though.
Yes, you did. But it's easier to do a vision board.
Day of that. Saturday? Saturday.
it's easier to do a vision board for the past year because you already know what to put on it. So this is for people with a low incentive about what they would like for the coming year. Speaking of other fun activities, yoga is coming up. I just realized if I look at the back screen, I can see without having to look over there. How fun is that? Okay, so the yoga slide is now up, and that's Tuesdays and Thursdays. That will be resuming, as you can see, on the 10th and the 12th. Highway cleanup continues, something we've been doing for years and years and years. I believe highway cleanup is actually led by, is it led by Max? It is. So Max's phone number is up there. If you would like to help Max for, when will this be? January 14th. That'll be not quite 2 weeks from now. Max, was there anything you needed to add to this?
That's a text number also.
Okay, so you can call or text. All right, look at you with the fancy. Louise continues her continuing class. It's from the Department of Redundancy Department, which is from the Fire Sign Theater. Got to give credit where that's due. For those of you who remember Fire Sign Theater, I think we're all bozos on this bus. Louise, did you need to say anything about this, or we just let this go? Yes, Louise wants to.
I just want to remind everyone that it is a new schedule now. It's going to be quarterly, so it is not going to happen in January. Starts in February. Rock painting, if you want to come, even if you've done it before, it's always fun to do art together. Look for some rocks.
Or as the case may be, listen to some. Our bookstore is open, and if you haven't checked out the bookstore, there's a lot of great books, hence the name bookstore, but there's a lot of great books, including, I think, Angelica's is usually there, too. Our little...
Yes, and it's the perfect time to buy it because it starts on January 1st.
There we go.
That's the daily books.
And today happens to be January 1st, okay. We have a copy of it. It's a lot of, it's like a different, if I remember correctly, different affirmation and story from each day. Do I remember correctly?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, okay, mostly. All right. A treatment. There we go. The little pantry needs to be fed. We continue to support our local community. Please, if you have food that you could donate to the little pantry, bring it. Put it in the little pantry, make it non-perishable. You can drop it off on Mondays from noon to 4 if you would like, when Walk in Awe is here, and she will start. Sure.
Notice that I put up there things that are preferable, like non-perishable items, pop cans, so people who don't have openers can get into them. Baby food seems to go really fast, so baby food is welcome. Milk and juice is welcome. We want things that are individual servings. Many people have brought big bags of rice or beans or whatever, and we have to separate them out. But what I want you to remember is a lot of these people have no way to cook. So dried beans don't really help. However, there are some things, if anybody would like some kidney beans or large packages of things, you can take them and make a donation to the little pantry so that we're not just hanging on to it. So smaller quantities, individual quantities are best.
And I love the line at the bottom of the slide that says, "We have plenty of ramen noodles." Apparently a local college dorm must have donated. Yes,
I
Louise.
just want to say, I put a couple of things in the little thing, and there was nothing in there.
Yeah, the little pantry empties
It
almost every day.
Needs to be
Yeah,
filled.
yeah, we need to keep it going. Monday. That's right.
But yeah, if you can stop by at the
I
middle or the
usually
end
do.
and make donations, that's nice.
Come by later and fill it out.
I filled it this morning.
And there's somebody who doesn't come to our community who also comes and fills it out. Because I thought somebody was getting stuff out of it one day, and I said, wait, I'm gonna bring out some more, and she goes, oh no, I'm putting stuff in.
Yeah, I found
I was
someone
like,
who did that
"Yay."
too. Somebody in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Good.
Nice.
It is a community little pantry. All right, so let's move on to this month's theme, which is Walking Our Talk, which will also be our yearly theme. This was actually behind the scenes, we had a different theme for the year that I had created a slide for, and then asked to change it. So I tried to make kind of a feeling of being out in nature, communing with the greater power that is ours, a little bit of humor, the dog's working backpack. So this is our theme for the year and for the month, and our contemplative meditation for the first session in the year will be led by Michelle.
Good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
See, I had a couple of readings. One is a really short one from Ernest Holmes, this thing called You. And then I really like Jennifer Loudon, so I have a little bit from her at the end. And so at this point, if you would just take a few moments to just relax into your chair and just allow yourself to center into this room, being fully present and taking a couple of deep healing breaths. Permanent happiness comes from quiet contentment and an inner sense of certainty that cannot be shaken by outer conditions. Make this a year of wholly connecting to the divine and focusing on what we want to bring into the world instead of the problems we need to solve.
Open my eyes that I may see, fullness of truth thou hast for me. Lace in my hands the wonderful key that shall unclasp and set me free. Silently now I wait for thee, ready, my God, thy will to see. Open my eyes, illumine me. Spirit divine.
And as we welcome in 2023, may we walk in with open eyes and open hearts, allowing Spirit to flow through and out of us into all we meet. And I know that as we come together this morning as a group, as a spiritual community, whether we are on Zoom or here in person, I know that we are in the right place at the right time. And I know that the words spoken during this service will be the right and perfect words that we need to hear. And that as we take them into our heart and out into our communities, that we grow and expand into oneness. And I know this service unfolds in its right and perfect way. And so it is. Now we welcome up Reverend Angelica.
Thank you, Jackson. Jeff. Thanks, everybody, for being here this morning, and good morning, Zoomers, as well, and Happy New Year. Isn't it amazing? The first day of a brand new year, and here we are, ready and willing to establish some, or to let some things go, and to establish some ideas or intentions for our year. And so there's a lot more time than I thought there was going to be. This whole idea of ritual really pleases my soul. There's something about it. I don't know whether it's living in a Catholic school when I was a child and experiencing all the pomp and circumstance of the priests, etc., or whether it's playing in Wiccan traditions for so many years and doing lots of ceremonies and rituals. But there's, the Science of Mind, or Religious Science Center for Spiritual Living, they don't really have any rituals, except for establishing new practitioners or ordaining ministers, etc., installing ministers in new churches. So when I get to do one, that makes me really happy. And this one, I think, is really important. If we're going to step into a brand new year, it's best to step into it as clean as we can. It's best to step into it with a mind that is not occupied by all of the horrible things that we think about. There's a part of me, I realized in speaking to somebody the other day, that there's a part of me that since the earthquake and the little aftershocks, etc., that doesn't feel safe in my house. And I've never not felt safe in my house. So this is a whole new experience for me. And then yesterday at 4 o'clock in the morning, there's a group of us sitting over there, and I thought, oh, maybe we should lock the door, the parking lot door. And then I'm thinking, no, somebody might come in and want to join us. And then I'm going, well, what's happening there? And I thought, there was fear coming up for me then. And so I thought, boy, I really need to step out of this and look at or let go of this idea of being afraid. If I'm moving into my new year feeling fearful, guess what? All kinds of stuff is going to come up, so I get to be afraid. And it's going to prove to me that it's important to be fearful. And I don't want that to happen. I know our teaching so well that it always surprises me when I find these things in myself. Because I think, oh, I'm over that. I've been doing this teaching for 40 years. It seems like if I start from when I started in religious science, and even before that I was into setting positive intentions, etc. So just because we've been in the teaching for a long time doesn't mean that we aren't going to have things come up for us, which then set off something or connect us to a part of the collective consciousness that feels in that particular way. But what I want us to do with the ritual this morning, and we're actually going to do a ritual through meditation and then another meditation to set intentions. I want us to think about those things that we've been carrying around for a long time, even the ones that you think you've buried, because that stuff we've buried shows up at the most inopportune times. And we don't want to do that anymore, right? So, and one of the things that we have to remember here is that the truth of us is that we're spirit. We're always going to be spirit. We can't get away from being spirit. But spirit's only word is yes. So if you think, oh, I'm scared, the universe goes, yes, my darling, let me give you something else to be afraid of. If you're thinking predominantly, I'm prosperous, I'm healthy, I'm creative, I'm whatever, then the universe is saying yes to that as well. And I love that idea that the universe says, yes, my darling. Because how could it not love itself? It is love itself. So I know that as we go through these processes, this ritual and the meditation, that you might think, oh, this is airy-fairy kind of stuff, it really doesn't work. Well, it won't if you believe it won't. Or it will if you believe it will. So right now I want you to take a deep breath. And first I want you to set an intention for this releasing ritual. Oh, does everybody have a little piece of paper and a pen? Does anybody not have one? All right, good. So that piece of paper, I'll tell you this before we start. That piece of paper, I'm going to give you an opportunity once we go through a little bit of a meditation to write down what came up for you in that meditation. And what's going to come up for you in the first part is what the universe wants you to release. All right? So, and remember that, remember this, we're telling stories all the time. You know, we see something happen and we immediately create a story around that. Like, for instance, Lori got up a few minutes ago and I thought, oh, my thought was, did I say something she didn't like? Instant.
Out of here.
Now I see that she spilled her coffee just like I did. That must be a thing this morning. But the funny thing is that we're doing that all the time. As soon as we see anything, we're creating a story around it. So we have created stories around the things that we want to release. And once you do this releasing process, I'm going to ask you, do not tell that story ever again. Because as soon as you step into telling the story again, guess what happens? It comes right back. In my feeling, my belief, there's only two real emotions, and then we build all on top of that. One is love and one is fear. The stories, a lot of times, I would say 90% of the time, come from fear. Some stories we build around love. But most of our stories are about fear. And I don't know why we do that, but we do. So we want to let go of those stories so that we can live in love, as love. So are you ready? Take a breath. So I recognize that each one of us is a divine being. And each one of us is now willing and able to let go of whatever we've been dragging along with us, whatever stories we keep telling. We're willing to let those go. And so we prepare ourselves for letting these stories go, for never telling them again. And part of the stories is about, all of the story actually is about us. Something that we have not forgiven about ourselves or about others. And so I'm going to share with you a Buddhist prayer of forgiveness. So take another breath. And take this prayer in. If I have harmed anyone in any way, either knowingly or unknowingly, through my own confusions, I ask their forgiveness. If anyone has harmed me in any way, either knowingly or unknowingly, through their own confusions, I forgive them. And if there is a situation I am not yet ready to forgive, I forgive myself for that. For all the ways that I harm myself, negate, doubt, belittle myself, judge, or be unkind to myself through my own confusions, I forgive myself. And so breathe that in. And now I'd like to use our imagination. So allow yourself to imagine that you're sitting or standing on the bank of a river that you consider sacred. And as you're watching the water move by, you realize that water is a symbol of spirit. And this water will take anything that we give it and move it on out into the ocean, dissolving it along the way. So allow yourself to be open. Open up to spirit within. To allow yourself to remember something that you would like to let go of. Something that you would like to permanently let go of. And as you remember it, allow yourself to take the pen and the paper that you were given and carefully write it, just write a word or two that symbolize this thing, this story, this feeling, whatever it might be. And know that when you write it and put it in the river, it's gone. So for a moment of silence, let yourself know what it is that you want to release. In the front here, there is a cauldron that I have had forever, that has participated in so many rituals. And you know that when you keep coming to something as if it is sacred, then it takes on that sacredness. So let it be the river for you. This paper is dissolvable paper. So whether you stand and watch it, or you put it in the water and move back to your seat, know that it is absolutely dissolving. So staying quiet, because this is a sacred ritual, let someone be the first one to come up and dissolve their story in the river. And then follow them until we're all finished. It will dissolve. Rather than stand there and watch it, let's just put it in. I would suggest not folding it in half. Uh-oh. Stir it up.
Still going.
Please be quiet for a moment.
Those online can imagine coming up and putting theirs in the bowl. And how delightful that the universe decided to bless us with a little earthquake while we started this process. I mean, shake it up, definitely. So how many felt fearful when your phones went off? Take a breath. Just let it go. And again, I know that this releasing is a sacred thing for each one of us. So I now declare that when we go into the stories again, or when we start to feel what it is that we let go of, that there's part of our mind that reminds us gently, easily, and humorously to let it go. To just let it go. And so imagine this river of spirit, taking all of these little slips of paper and dissolving them and washing them away out into the ocean, where they become transformed. The energy that we've been spending on these right now is becoming transformed. And I declare for us that this energy is transformed into a lightness of being. And how wonderful this is. So feel within yourself that lightness of being. And take a breath. And now I want you to think of an intention for this year. It could be one word, could be a little statement, it could be a feeling. Allow yourself to let this word come up for you. Your intention for 2023. And using our imaginations again, let's see ourselves at the edge of this river, perhaps sitting in a nice grassy spot, feeling the sun warming our faces and our bodies, sitting in the light. And there comes to you a sacred being. And this being has a gift for you. So let yourself open your hands and open your heart and open your mind to receive this gift. You don't have to try to think about what this gift might be. Just let the gift be presented. And now imagine that you look at this gift and it's prettily wrapped. And so you undo the wrapping paper and you look at what's inside. And it is the absolutely most perfect thing for your intention for this year. So let yourself, in your imagination, examine this gift, feel it, experience the energy of it. And then imagine that you can shrink it down so that it fits in the palm of your hand. And when you shrink it down, then allow yourself to place it in your heart. Maybe even put your physical hands right now over your heart. And feel the energy of the heart behind your physical heart, absorbing the energy of this gift. And now that you have this gift, let yourself state your intention to yourself using the I statement. I am willing to be fear-free. I am willing to live in comfort and joy. I am willing to be the light. If you would like to give your intention even more power, speak it into the room. And let's think about it for a moment. And then I'm going to count to 3. And then when I do the 3, after the 3, speak your intention into this room. 1, 2, 3. I am fear-free. feel what the energy felt like. And know that together we support each other in attaining and maintaining these intentions that we've set for ourselves this morning. And how wonderful that feels to know that we as a community support each other fully in being all that we can be. So this is what I know for us. In fact, we have an affirmation slide, so let's have that. There we go. Let's say this together. The universal spirit, in its infinite wisdom and knowledge, has created me as its outpicturing of perfection for this exact time and place. I am exactly as I need to be in all situations, at all times, embracing my true and perfect self, and I am grateful for who I am. And yes, we are. We are grateful for who we are and who we remember. The truth of us is that we are spirit. Spirit in living in this earth suit for this time and dimension. Spirit living to have a greater experience of itself in so many different ways. Spirit who is love, celebrating life in, through, and as each one of us. And this is good, very good. And so I know that indeed this is a great new year, a great way to set up our year. And so as we walk through our lives day by day, we remember that we have released that no longer serves us, and we have accepted something brand new. So we give thanks for being able to do this. We give thanks for knowing that we're supported, and we celebrate life. And so it is. Very good. Does anybody want to share anything that came to them before we move into the offering? Oh, right, thank you. Before we move into music by Jeff. So somebody said something. Anna, what did you say?
My love for American engineering.
Oh, cool. Did anybody else have anything that they want to say? Lori.
Eureka, I was thinking about something that happened years ago, and this was the perfect place to forgive what happened for myself, for other people. I mean, talk about perfect timing. Because I really do need to let it go. It just comes up every once in a while, and I really appreciate being able to put closure on it for myself. Thank you.
Thank you. So for the Zoomers, Lori is
Grateful for,
she
she remembered
remembered
something from a long time ago that comes up every once in a while, and she's grateful for the opportunity to let it go. I want to tell you something about memories. They are active. They are always active, whether we think they are or not. So letting go of those things that we've given so much energy to is really important. And now the memory will come up, but it won't have any energy attached to it. I remember sitting at lunch one time with a young man who was a counselor. He wasn't part of our religion, but he was a counselor, and he was saying that he was working with a young girl whose parents were abusing her really badly. And I was able to talk to him, and at the end of, the minister talking, but at the end of that, I thought, wow, that was the first time I had ever talked feeling my stomach clench up and my butt muscles clench up and, feel the fear of it. I thought, wow, now it's just a story. It's no longer active as part of me. Does anybody else want to say anything before we? Yes, Pearl.
Kind of like a continuation meditation on years. And it's letting go and realizing that everything I think I fear I'm made of, why don't I unmake it?
Yes, Pearl said for those.
You on Zoom that we did the peace meditation yesterday morning at dark 30. And she said this process was a bit of a continuation on that, where she realized that there wasn't any need. Why was she carrying this stuff around? There was no need to. And so she made it up so she could unmake it. That's the statement. I like that. She made that up so she could unmake it. You rewrite your script, right? Okay. Let's welcome Jeff up here to sing some music, or to play some music, rather.
So what we had planned, different than the mood we have now. However, speaking of fear, so we all have fears.
Well,
this medley deals with their stories of people who have to put aside their fear to do what they have to do. We'll let Jackson do the intro.
So, let's have our offering affirmation up there. Take a breath. I gratefully give from the fullness of my abundance, knowing my gift blesses this center, all in it and beyond, and so it is. And here is the ways that you can do it if you're not here.
We acknowledge that there is only one power, one presence, a power that is greater than we could possibly ever imagine, a power that is eternally giving, a great, generous heart. And so we celebrate that givingness. We allow ourselves to celebrate being great receivers. We also celebrate our imaging the action of the divine in our givingness. And so we bless these offerings as symbols of our conscious awareness that we know that God is our source. And so it is.
So I want to tell you that while the offering baskets were going on, I went and I looked at the cauldron, and it looked like a whole bunch of whole pieces of paper. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, this is supposed to be dissolving paper. So I put my hand in it and swirled it, and they had all dissolved, but they had stayed in that same shape. Think about the lesson that is.
Even the folded ones?
Even the folded ones, yeah. However, you stir things up, or you get shaken up, and it all dissolves. Now it's just gray water. So let's have our next slide. Who would like to do our community statement of inclusion today? Okay, come. And when you do it, we want to have everybody say the bottom line.
Okay.
Can you see it from there?
I think I can, yeah.
Okay.
I need my glasses if it was right here.
Oh.
Community Statement of Inclusion and Affirmation. We, the Eureka and Ukiah Centers for Spiritual Living, are communities that celebrate diversity, foster inclusion, champion inner work, and create space for brave, vulnerable conversations. We are communities that honor the unique emanation of God that each person embodies and advocate with people for human rights and dignity for all. We are communities that bless each other, see sacredness in all life, remain learners and listeners so that we may grow together, and understand that oneness is not sameness. All together. We know our beloved community is revealed more fully when we love each other well.
Why don't you introduce yourself, Ted?
Oh. Hi, everyone. My name is Tiffany Schultz, and I moved here in October from Sacramento. And despite the shaking, I'm really glad to be here.
And I saw your flowers that you brought in. Thank you very much.
Thank you for bringing the flowers too, Tiffany.
Yes, definitely. Where are they anyway? Oh, they are beautiful. So, because we don't use the space during the week, who has a birthday or something that they want to celebrate that would like to have some flowers? You don't want any flowers? No? Okay.
Okay, I'll take it.
So what is it? What are you celebrating?
My birthday,
And when is that?
January 16th, with Martin Luther King this year.
All right, congratulations. All right, thank you very much, yes.
I think it rained out your bird walk.
Another one? Oh yeah, in February, every first Wednesday, 9 to 11, but I think we are gonna get rained out. I don't burn the rain. No. If you wanna go, you can go, but I'm not going if it's raining.
So I want to tell you,
That I really appreciate our community. You know, and I know that both Claudia and Les really appreciate this community. Claudia's house is almost totally furnished by the generosity of people in this community and getting in touch with other people that were giving things away. So that's a really good thing. And we're knowing that she gets stronger and that her husband Daryl gets stronger and they're really able to enjoy their new home. And I know that Les, after having really extensive surgery, is home now and is loving the foods that people are bringing in. And if you want to be part of her meal train, her daughter set up a website or put her on a website called Meal Train, which I didn't know about. Now I'm glad we do, because if somebody else needs it, we have it. But I think that she's taken care of, her and her partner Martin are taken care of through January 11th. So if you need the website link, I either put it in this month's newsletter, which came out yesterday, or I didn't, but you can contact me and I'll make sure you get it, or you could contact Donna. So, did you want to say anything about any of our stuff that we've been doing?
no? No. Okay, great. So
Thank you, everybody. We appreciate your generosity and your love and your care. Lori?
I noticed that we handed out pens today, and I've also noticed that a lot of these little booklets in the back of the chairs don't have pens, so I'm wondering if we could take our little pens and put them in there.
Well, we could, only I would rather use the pens in the cupboard that say Eureka Center for Spiritual
These have been
Living
empty
instead of
for,
being in
yeah,
or.
these have been empty for quite a while.
Yeah. Catherine has that on her list to make sure.
Yeah, I asked her 2 months ago.
Yes,
I
please.
just wanted to, what I noticed when it was shaking, I heard bells ringing. And I thought of, you know, the Jimmy Stewart thingy, you know.
Oh, an angel, when a bell rings, an angel
When
is
the
there?
bell rings, an angel.
No, it was.
Are there bells? I really.
No, it's everybody's phone.
Tingle, tingle, tingle.
It's the phone.
It's an alert.
It's an earthquake alert on our phones.
That makes.
Phone alert.
Oh.
We could hang some earthquake.
Oh, does they tell us how to shake?
Yeah, right. That earthquake was a 5.5, by the way.
Where was it centered?
Same old place they all are.
Out in front.
James lives in Randall.
Have you heard from Carol yet? Oh. All right, well, we're finished this morning, and let's just know that absolutely everything is working out perfectly. That we are
Stepping out into an adventure called 2023, and it's healthy and whole and a blessing for everybody, including all of those around us. It's a good thing. So thank you very much for being here today. And thank you very much for being on Zoom today. Yes, we have a song. No, we're not.
going to sing a peace song today. We're going to sing I'm stepping out.
Are you gonna, there we go. And remember, there's 2 of them, all right? You didn't get your email? You didn't read your email that told you that this is the song we're playing, or did you? You remember it though, don't you? I'm stepping out into a world of possibility. I'm stepping out into a whole. Stand up.
Everybody, have a great rest of New Year's Day. Thank you. And thanks, Dr. You're so good that you remember what's wrong. Oh, my goodness.
Hi, Max. Good to see you.